Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm coming at you again with another anime review, and this review is going to be one that recently finished last week. It is Nisekoi, which I watched all 20 episodes of it every week since it started last season, and wow. Okay, first off, I guess I should mention, this is actually the first anime series I ever watched from Akiyuki Shimbo. Alright, I think it might be the first from Shaft too, in general. So this is really my first time actually being exposed to Akiyuki Shimbo's works, like in general. And a first impression of it is that I really like his style. This makes me want to watch the Monogatari series even more now, because I'm really a fan of his style. And I've just watched this one series, just 20 episodes of it. Alright, but anyways, what's Nisekoi about? Well, I've never read the manga. I read like one chapter of it, chapter 51, I believe, which is like the first chapter that takes place after the anime. Alright, I will be continuing it in order to catch up with it, although from what I understand, there's a lot of chapters. Yeah, so that was 51 that I read. The next review. Yeah, there's a total of 123 chapters so far. I believe it is a weekly manga, so yeah. It's really long, but I mean, not as long as a lot of long ones, but it's still pretty long. It'll take me a while to catch up to it. But anyways, though, generally the consensus on this anime is that most people, either you'll love the manga or hate the anime, or vice versa. You'll love the anime and hate the manga. I found, at least from my personal experiences, very few select people that actually like loves both or hates both. Generally, the people who don't like the anime, I think, are people who are exposed to Akiyuki Shimbo's style a lot and are sick of it. Like, I've heard that a lot. Of course, it didn't bother me here, and I'm not sure if it will in the future, but like I said before, this is my actual first work of Akiyuki Shimbo that I've ever really been exposed to. So, the plot's fairly generic. You have this main character named Raku, who, when he was, like, well, I don't know how old he is right now or how old he was back then, but it was 10 years ago, a decade ago, before the start of the series. He made a promise to this certain girl that they would meet up again in the future, because for some reason they were split apart, essentially, forcefully by their parents. Alright, and Raku's like the heir to like this Japanese I'm not sure if they're the Yakuza, but there's some sort of Japanese gang. They might actually be the Yakuza. I don't remember if they actually are or not, though. But there's some sort of Japanese gang. Raku's basically the heir to them, and he's going to a high school, and not sure if he's starting yet or not at the beginning of the series, but he's going to high school, and he has a crush on this girl named Onodera. Alright, and he kind of, it's kind of weird, because I think what they're trying to play is that he kind of knows that he probably doesn't want to end up with her, because he still has his promise, which he remembers, although he doesn't remember her name or face. Way to go, fucking Raku, really. But he still has a crush on her. It's really weird. Alright. And he actually has this locket, and the girl he made a promise with has the key to it, and when they meet up, they would open it up, and they would be together, blah, blah, blah. That's the basic gist of it. So he has a crush on Onodera, who he's hoping in vain is that girl. And he also meets a new transfer student from the U.S. named Kosaki. Alright. And then later on in the series, he meets another girl named... Oh, God. Trying to find... Marika Tachibana. Alright, yes. So later on in the series, he meets a girl named Marika, who claims to actually be that girl. Apparently they were engaged when they were children. And there's actually pictures of her too, but it's not quite as simple as that, though, because all three of them, there's evidence that all three of them might be maybe just two of them, or maybe just one of them. Of course, if it's two or all three of them, then yeah, Raku's kind of a player in that sense. But anyways, though, alright, and because Marika does have a key, but so does Onodera. And so does Kosaki. So that just complicates things even further. And if it weren't And if that weren't enough, Onodera and Kosaki apparently were friends, were best friends as children, because Kosaki did live in Japan but she's American, I think, but she did live in Japan when she was a kid, but she went to America, and then she moved back at the beginning of this series, so, and apparently her and Onodera were best friends as children, and they played together all the time. They just couldn't remember because it was so long ago. Alright. And then they were beginning to think, well, maybe Marika played with them as well, although I don't really think there was any evidence to this in the series. And really just goes back and forth like this. And when you think it's simple and you think that one woman or one girl is going to win out, they throw something else in there that completely throws it all to shit. I mean, it's a generic story, but it's done in such a unique way that I really enjoyed it. Okay? Because you don't know, even at the end of the series, like, it definitely has a read the manga style ending where you think that he ends up with Kosaki, but it's not really fully confirmed, I mean, then again, I heard there was a one-shot where he ended up with Kosaki, so people are thinking that by the time the manga ends, he's probably going to end up with Kosaki. Please refrain from spoiling further stuff in the manga. That's chapter 52 and onward in the comments of this video, please, because I won't know any of that. But anyways, though, I really like how, like I said before, I really like how as soon as you think you got it all figured out, they throw something else in there, and you're like, shit, that changes everything, As soon as you thought, I mean, with the first few minutes of the first episode, you thought, okay, it's probably Onodera. I mean, that's the generic thing to do, Have a setup like this, then have the the male and female meet each other years later, but they don't even recognize each other, and have them find out later on that they actually did make the promise to each other. Oh yeah, by the way, Onodera made the same promise to someone, and so did Kosaki too. Yeah, but then in the first episode, Kosaki's thrown in there, and so many things changes throughout the course of just the 20 episodes, which makes it all the better, I think, because it definitely adds suspense and tension to the series, And it's not just a romance; there's also lots of comedy in it too, Kosaki, or did I say Kosaki? Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Kosaki is Onodera's first name. Kirisaki. Chitoge Kirisaki is her name. Okay. Wow. But yeah, Kirisaki is basically your generic tsundere, although I liked her, though. I think she has some sort of charm to her. I'm definitely on board with her more than the other two. Onodera is pretty nice, pretty cool too. I've never been a fan of the quiet girl, though, which is definitely what she is. And I'm sorry, but Marika's just a bitch as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, let's just leave it at that. There is another girl in here, actually two other girls. There's Rui Miyamoto, who is Onodera's best friend, and then there's Seishiro Tsumugi, who is a teenage girl, but she's a hit woman for the Kirisaki family, which Chitoge is also the heir to the heir to a gang, similar to Raku. And the funny part about this is that in the first and second episode, we basically get the setup to where they have to fake being in love with each other in a sense, or else a gang war will break out, basically. And if that weren't enough to complicate things, Marika is the daughter of the police chief. They just love throwing in shit here to complicate things now, don't they? Whew. Wow. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects in here, alright? And within the 20 episodes, the pacing, I think, is amazing. Okay, and the comedy is really good, too. Like, a lot of times with anime comedy, I end up skipping over some of it, but I rarely skipped over the comedy in this episode, or in the series. That just shows to you how great that it is. Alright. So yeah, and, Raku and Chitoge definitely get the most screen time out of the couples in the series, so that's another reason why I think that he'll probably end up with her at the end, just because the creators clearly have a Chitoge, well, actually the mangaka, if this is accurate enough to the manga, definitely has a Chitoge bias. It's clear when you watch the series. Yeah, there's scenes with Raku and Onodera, and then there's scenes with Raku and Marika as soon as Marika is introduced, but those are few and far between, especially since Marika doesn't get introduced till well after the halfway point anyways of the series. So yeah, but anyways, so what else is there for me to say about the series? I didn't really have any major complaints with it. I mean, a lot of people do complain because it's too generic, but I think that's a bullshit complaint because it did something generic, but it did something very unique with it, and it's interesting because of how many things they throw in there to just throw a fucking corkscrew into everything that you think is going to happen. As soon as you think something might be resolved, nope, they throw something else in there. And that's where I think keeps the series interesting. And yeah, there's lots of plot conveniences, but who cares? Every fucking story on the planet has plot conveniences. You're stupid if you're going to complain about that, okay? So, yeah. But anyways, though, I think I'm going to just about wrap up this review here, though. I definitely recommend Nisekoi. I think it's a very good series. If you like Akiyuki Shimbo's art style and and you haven't watched it so much that you're sick of it, then it's probably for you. If you don't like the art style, then you're probably not going to like the series. I have heard some people say that the art style doesn't really complement the series specifically. I didn't really feel that. I felt it was... For me, it's creative. He's used it for years, so obviously it's not too creative anymore, but for me it's creative because it's the first series that I've ever seen that uses this art style. Again, I've never seen the Monogatari series yet, as much as I really want to now, although I heard there's some really fucked up shit in that series. But I've probably seen worse. I'm not kidding, I probably have. I've seen some really fucked up shit in my lifetime. Both in fiction and real life. But anyways, though, that is a story for never. Anyways, though, I think I'm going to wrap up this review here, though. I definitely recommend it. Nisekoi was an enjoyable watch. I really want to get caught up in the manga soon. I can't wait for Season 2. I have no idea when Season 2 is going to come out. I don't even think it's been confirmed yet. Hold on, let me check and see here real quick. I don't think so. It doesn't say anything about a second season. Nope, it doesn't. Hold on. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about second season, but I really hope there is one in the future. In the meantime, though, I will try to get caught up to the manga. And if I'm able to, then I will consider doing chapter reviews of it when I get caught up to it. In fact, I'm considering once I get to chapter 100 doing a first impressions of the manga from chapter 52 to 100. But anyways, though. Chapter 51 to 100, I mean. But anyways, though, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.